Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 worst movies to get Oscar nominations. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be breaking down the most baffling flicks to have ever scored an Academy Award nomination. No category is off limits. Number 10, The Boss Baby. Helmed by director and animator Tom McGrath, who's worked on everything from Space Jam to Megamind, and headlined by such vocal talents as Alec Baldwin and Steve Buscemi, it's no surprise that The Boss Baby cleaned up at the box office.
So keep quiet, stay out of my way, or there's gonna be cutbacks.
But let's be honest, this film, which is about an infant who wears a suit, calls himself the boss, and is actually a secret agent, isn't the kind of film people will be talking about a decade from now.
Stop acting like a baby!
You're a baby!
You take that back.
In fact, despite being nominated for an Oscar for Best Animated Feature, The Boss Baby didn't even garner the best reviews from film critics. You know, the people that do that sort of thing for a living.
You wouldn't.
Say bye-bye, baby! You're fired!
Number 9, Click. If you had told us back in 2006 that a film starring Adam Sandler in which he plays a man who discovers a remote control that can manipulate time would be nominated for an Academy Award, we would have laughed you out of the room.
Whoa, all right, America, have your laugh, I'm an idiot.
Click is by no means a good movie. Sure, it made copious amounts of money, but so do most Adam Sandler flicks.
Getting sick, man. Fast forward me till I'm better.
With a measly 32% on Rotten Tomatoes, and reviews such as this one from the Wall Street Journal, which called the film an abomination, it's not difficult to see why we were surprised it scored an Oscar nom. But it did, for Best Makeup.
No.
Number 8, Batman Forever. Batman and Batman Returns, both of which were directed by Tim Burton, are certifiable classics. However, Batman Forever, which was directed by Joel Schumacher, is not.
Can I persuade you to take a sandwich with you, sir?
I'll get drive-through.
Despite a cast that includes Val Kilmer, Nicole Kidman, Tommy Lee Jones, and Jim Carrey at the height of his 90s fame, the film was a critical disappointment, though not nearly as bad as the film that followed it, which shall not be named.
Was that over the top? I can never tell.
And yet, Batman Forever still managed to score an Oscar nomination for Best Cinematography, though it would lose out to Braveheart.
The press were just wondering what it feels like to be outsold, outclassed, outcoiffed, and generally outdone in every way.
Number 7, Alien 3. David Fincher, the director who's given us such cinematic gems as Fight Club and The Social Network, dropped the ball on this one, and he knows it.
That does deserve an explanation. But I don't think now is the moment.
Fincher publicly disowned the film and in 2009 quipped, "A lot of people hated Alien 3, but no one hated it more than I did." Damn, that's harsh. When he agreed to direct Alien 3, his first feature film by the way, he was in his late 20s and working under constant pressure from studio executives. The infamously plagued production still managed to make a pretty penny at the box office, en route to an Oscar nom for Best Visual Effects, so it wasn't a total loss.
Then you take care of me.
No problem. Quick, easy, and painless.
Number 6, Suicide Squad. With an enormous amount of hype surrounding it, what with its all-star cast and brilliant source material, Suicide Squad cruised to a cool $746 million at the box office in 2016. But don't let that dough fool you.
Stay evil, Dollface. Spread the word.
The film, which is about a group of criminals forced to work together in order to bring down an evil witch, was panned by critics and currently holds a 26% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's better this way. Trust me.
However, that didn't stop it from being nominated for and winning an Academy Award for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. In all honesty, that was one of the film's few silver linings.
Thank you would be nice.
Thank you.
Number 5, The Lone Ranger. Starring Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer, The Lone Ranger was one of 2013's biggest productions. Based on the popular 20th century radio and TV series, the film is about a crime-fighting duo of the Lone Ranger and Tonto, who battle outlaws in the Old West.
So the horse. We can fly?
Don't be stupid.
Unfortunately, the premise failed to connect with audiences, and today the film is considered a critical and commercial disappointment, with one critic calling it frustrating, lazy, and lifeless.
It's nothing personal.
Despite all that, it still managed to earn Oscar nominations for Best Visual Effects and Best Makeup and Hairstyling. The film's one bid to save face was dashed when it failed to win in either category.
Don't ever do that again.
Number 4. Waterworld. When it was released, Waterworld was the most expensive film ever made.
We're going to die here, aren't we?
Directed by and starring Kevin Costner, who at the time was one of the biggest movie stars on the planet, the film was about a post-apocalyptic world in which the polar ice caps had melted, causing the oceans to envelop practically all inhabitable land. The bizarre premise failed to hit the mark with audiences and critics alike, and was a flop in the United States.
Well then, we better keep it to ourselves.
Of course, that didn't stop it from being nominated at the 68th Academy Awards for Best Sound, an award it would lose to Apollo 13. Number 3. 50 Shades of Grey. Before you ask, no, we're not making this up.
Enlighten me then.
50 Shades of Grey, the erotic drama based on the 2011 novel of the same name, scored an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song at the 88th Academy Awards. The song in question was Earned It by The Weeknd, and it lost to Spector's Writings on the Wall.
I see nobody but you. I'm never confused.
To say that 50 Shades of Grey isn't for everyone may seem like an understatement to most critics. Just listen to a few of these from respected reviewers, who called it boring, abysmally bad, and lousy. Tough crowd.
I gotta go. Bye.
Number 2. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Of all the Transformers films that have been released, one could make the argument that this one is the worst, but it would have some tough competition.
Hey, Professor, I'd do anything for an A.
Sporting a lowly rating of 19% on Rotten Tomatoes and peppered with negative reviews from the get-go, many people would describe Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen as terrible. In fact, the Michael Bay-directed flick was nominated for a whopping 7 Razzies and won for Worst Picture, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay. Yikes.
You'll never stop at one. I'll take you all on.
But it wasn't all bad. The film was also nominated for Best Sound Mixing at the 82nd Oscars, but lost to The Hurt Locker.
I'm sorry, I really am.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Oh, that's cute. I thought I was the only person who slept with his guns under the pillow. Look at her little gun. Oh, look at me. So adorable.
You've just been erased.
Harry, I'm human. I made a mistake. And I'm sorry.
Number 1, Norbit. Without further ado, we present you what's possibly the worst movie to have ever been nominated for an Academy Award. Norbit.
Open your mouth.
The film, which features Eddie Murphy portraying multiple characters, is about a man attempting to distance himself from his crass, overweight, and adulterous wife so that he can woo his childhood crush. Norbit pulled in decent numbers at the box office, but that didn't stop Richard Roeper from calling it offensively bad.
No!
Dwarfing its 1 Oscar nomination for Best Makeup is 8 Razzie nominations, including 5 for Murphy, 3 of which he won. In the pantheon of bad movies nominated for Oscars, Norbit has no equal.
Bingo! Right in the bro hole!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.